and a very warm welcome to the penultimate round of the 2017 MG Car Club Drayton Manor Park MG Metro Cup.
Here we are, Snettterton 200 on the penultimate round of the Drayton Manor MG Metro Cup. Now, not a bad season for you. We caught up with you at Donington. How's it been?
Yeah, it was a good learning curve this season. Started off well, I think, for my first season. 6th in the championship with 3 other drivers on the same points. So we're going into this round with, you know, whole you can change in grid. The whole grid can change. Qualifying today, not well wanted it. Wanted to be a bit more fair.
Well, 10th is not bad at all.
It's not bad, but season so far, yeah, I've enjoyed it. I've loved it. The best thing I've done in my life, I think. Best choice I've made in my life. Always wanted to do it since I was a kid, and yeah, here we are. My dad's been a great, massive help. He's been helping me with the car all season. Paul, Craig, old Ashton lads, Team Purple Helmet's been fabulous. They've been spot on. You know, any problems, they'll just jump straight on it. You know, I can't thank them more than enough to what they've done this season for me. And where I'm at now, yeah, even if I come 8th in the championship and top 10 for the first season, never raced before, I think I'll take that.
Bit of a mixed season for you.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a very adventurous and entertaining one for me this year.
Is that like character building, I suppose?
Yeah, definitely. Keeping me very on my feet, learning new types of track temperatures and different controls of the car and how it reacts on the track with more power and speed that I'm holding.
So qualifying went pretty well for you. You were getting a few vibrations, I think you said earlier to me in the car. What was that about?
Yeah, my front left wheel had delaminated, so the air had come between the 2 layers of the tyre, so it caused a bulge and the vibration was horrendous. The wheel was just pulling me everywhere, but that was only the last 3 laps, but I couldn't put full power on because it was just unsteady. But I didn't know what it was at first until we came back and checked everything, but that's all that we could appear to find. So thankfully we've solved that, but fingers crossed it's a bit better for the race.
Having a word in the paddock with a few people earlier, your name kept cropping up as regards to you're progressing, you're getting a bit more competitive and better results each time.
Yeah, it's nice to know that obviously other people are recognising it. So, but yeah, it's been an all right season. I missed the beginning, so first round and that, but yeah, been working on the car. So hopefully, looking sort of working towards next year. We'll try and get it ready and performing how I want ready for next year. So.
And with this season amalgamating sort of the classes together, merging them into sort of one class, how's that affected you? How has it helped?
I found it obviously a little bit harder to try and keep up with what I'd class as the faster group that seems to be at the front there. But now with working on the car and obviously getting to know the circuits a bit more now, sort of getting up there. So I think it's a good thing, and we're sort of going in the right direction. I think everyone, when they watch the racing, they'll see how close it is, and we always get comments on how the best race of the day, and so I think it's it's going well. Nice close racing, fair, clean, friendly, so it's good.
Mike, here we are again, final round coming up, and joint leader on the old table there at 134.
Yes, we got drop scores to come from that as well. So if you take the drop scores, assuming obviously the worst score is in the past and not tomorrow or today, then Jack Ashton is actually top with 121, Andrew and I 120, and Lee Connell on 116. So it is very, very close. We're all in charge of our own destinies. It's 20 points a race. If you get fastest laps, a point. So Lee, if he wins both races and fastest lap, no matter what we do, he'll still win the championship, even from 4th. So close as you can get.
Qualified second for yourself there, so by .067, ridiculously tight time.
Yeah, a bit close there, isn't it? A bit disappointing really, because I remember coming around on the last lap and one of the guys on the pit wall had his finger out. I don't think he was pointing at me, he was trying to indicate first at the time, and I thought, well, I'll try and put another fast lap anyway, and I was just pipped on the last. So, bit of a shame really, but well done to Lee for doing that. It's he's pretty tough out there today. There's a lot of back markers hanging around, so to get some fast laps in it's pretty tough.
Going into this penultimate race, qualified 6th, which everyone would be pleased with normally, but it's not quite the norm for you. So what's going on?
Few issues in quali. Made a bit of a disappointing move for 6th. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people will be happy with it, but I really needed to be right at the front for quali. But we had a problem with a head gasket and a clutch exploding, oil going everywhere, a few problems, but we're on the mend at the moment. Hopefully get out for race 1, and I just got to try my hardest, really.
Now, on the positive side, coming into this event, technically, if we've done our maths correctly, with drop scores, you're actually leading by 1 point.
With drop scores, yeah, leading by 1 point, which is very close, really. Andrew and Mike both drawing behind me, so I've got a lot of people on my heels. But if that 1 point can last, I think if I get a faster slap as well, that can hopefully give me that gap for the championship. Well, I've got to just try my hardest out on the race, really.
Lee, qualifying done and pole position, so that's not a bad start to the weekend.
No, that's exactly what I needed. I need 2 race wins really to get myself the championship. So we've started off well. We've started off where we want to be. I said that for Alton Park and started pole and it didn't really go my way. So hoping for a race that I can just get a nice little gap and hopefully keep first.
Amazingly close times for these qualifyings though.
Yeah, it is close. I think there's a 10th in between me and Mike, and then I think it's 3/10 between Andrew. So it's going to be a tough race.
Andrew, coming to this, we're level pegging on the points with Mike there, and you've just qualified 3rd for the first race.
Yeah, it was interesting qualifying. It's sort of I knew I wasn't going to be on top step, so I kind of realised that before I even got out there. I suppose I shouldn't think like that, but I didn't think I was going to get P1 round here. Never have really gone massively well round here, but I knew I'd be trailing Mike and Lee at least. So I think P3, I was pretty chuffed with that, really, to be fair. I've basically got a full set of decent results this year, so even if I didn't finish the first race, it wouldn't impact the championship position whatsoever, really, because that would be my drop score. So whatever the weather, I will have 2 bites at the cherry, basically, to have a go at the title. So two shots to get a P1 really is what I've got to do.
Penultimate race of the season about to get underway with Lee Connell on pole position for the 3rd event in succession. Mike Williams in blue and white lines up alongside. Then it's Andrew Ashton and Dick Trevette, another driver who's had lots of pole form over the course of the season. Tony Connell 5th from Jack Ashton, then Dan Balster and Richard Garrard. Mark Eales in 9th. Shamek Glodek is in 10th place. Then Dan Willars, Tim Davies, Kyler Birdseye and Ernie Burles completing the grid of this very tightly fought championship. This is the penultimate race of the season. So Connell is on pole position, Mike Williams alongside. The lights are on here at Snetterton. Out go the lights and everybody safely off the line. It's a good start for round 9 of the championship, and they head down to Riches for the first time. Who's going to grab the lead? Mike Williams looks racy from the outside of the front row, and it is the blue and white car that leads them. Andrew Ashton looking up into 2nd. Dan Balster side by side there with Tony Connell. Mark Eales in the grey 44 car following them. But this is the view from Andrew Ashton, who's in 2nd place. And it's Mike Williams who heads into Wilson Corner in the race lead. They exit that. They're on the 200 circuit today, the shorter circuit, rather than the more technical 300. It's a welcome change, actually, from having a fair bit of commentary duty on the 300 circuit most of the year. Andrew Ashton challenging for 2nd place here from Lee Connell, side by side along the straight under the Snetterton Bridge into the Brundle and Nelson complex. Left-hander first, then the right-hander. Andrew Ashton ahead of Lee Connell, then Jack Ashton. So we've got the 3 Team Purple runners together, and then indeed we've got Tony Connell in behind, so 4 of them together, but not locking out the podium at the moment as we watch Richard Garrard challenging Mark Eales in the 44 car, Shamek Glodek in behind. Then the 2 red cars, Dan Willars and Timothy Davies in the mix, and they were together, weren't they, at the end of the Alton Park race. And a big sideways moment there for Andrew Ashton in the 97. Lee Connell, I don't know if he was responding to that, maybe losing a bit of momentum and getting the position back there side by side at the moment with Jack Ashton, Tony Connell. Then it's Dick Trevette in the orange car. Dick, as I mentioned, triple pole position setter at Donington Park, round 1. Brands Hatch for rounds 2 and 3. And Dick, who indeed won race 1 at Brands Hatch and has had 2 other podia as well. As I mentioned earlier on, championship-wise, it's so close. We've got, depending how you look at it, we've got 3 different championship leaders. If you do it on total scores, it's Mike Williams and Andrew Ashton tied on 134 points. And if you do it on drop scores, then it's Jack Ashton leading by a single point. And it really is testament to how the drop scores works well in this championship and how close the racing is over the course of the year. And we've got Lee Connell in the mix as well. I'll talk more about drop scores as we head on. Lee Connell is the one that can't afford to have any more drop scores or any more non-finishes or anything like that. He's had 1 at Rockingham, so he's dropped scores 1. The other drivers in the mix here, Mike Williams drops 14, which is 4th place. He's had a couple of times. Andrew Ashton has a brace of 14s as well, so he drops 1 of those 14s. Jack Ashton dropping 11 points. And that's what sort of swings the difference to get him into the lead of the championship on overall point, on drop scores by 1 solitary point. There is Dick Trevette, former champion in this 2005 outright champion when he was running in Class C. Ben Rushworth, last year's champion, of course. Phil Goff winning it the year before. Jonathan Woodcock the year before that. Tom Granger 2 years prior to that. Andrew Ashton, the 2011 champion, and indeed in 2009 when he won Class B. It's a championship with a lot of very, very good race drivers that have taken part over the years. And here's a newcomer who we met at Alton Park, Ernie Burles, deputising once again for Thomas Burles in the 65 car. So he's going to get his 2nd race finish under his belt, hopefully, in this one. We rejoin Andrew Ashton, busy challenging hard. So this the battle for the race lead. Mike Williams is in front. He'll go slightly over to the left as we were looking at the shot so as to block the inside line there, but if the line's got by the 97 car, he's then got to hang on to the outside line on the next corner, so Mike Williams doesn't have to get overly defensive, but Williams holding the centre ground as they come out of Bomb Hole and down in towards Coram. And look at Connell looking racy here as well, and Connell going to the outside line here at Coram and challenging Andrew Ashton on the outside at Coram. What a move that is, you don't see that very often. Lee Connell, superb skill from him, great respectful racing from the other cars as well. Andrew and Jack Ashton are side by side. Andrew's got the upper hand at the moment, Jack's in the mix, Tony Connell, Dick Trevette all in there as well. But that was a superb pass by Lee Connell, who had pole position here outside. I can't tell you how difficult, I can't tell you enough how difficult that is to make the car stick on the outside. And of course the reward is that it tees up the inside line for Murray's, but he's lost 2nd position again because it's Andrew Ashton that's gone back through. Here's Kyler Birdseye, hopefully with the tyre problems from qualifying sorted out. And Kyler's best result so far this year is a 14th, round 2 Brands Hatch. Jack Ashton back up ahead of Tony Cole coming onto the back straight, and there's Dan Willars in 27 up ahead of Timothy Davis. Tim Davis comes from Nottingham, best result so far of 13th place, which was Alton Park and also Donington Park at the start of the year. Won't forget round 1 of the championship, but Mike Williams has soaked up all the pressure, dealt with it, opened up a little bit of a gap again, Williams here, which is good to see, with Andrew Ashton in 2nd place. Lee Connell, his teammate, right behind him. Remember, it was a Team Purple podium at Alton Park, and we've got 4 Team Purple cars all together, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th at the moment. They'd like to get 1st to 4th, but going to have to deal with Mike Williams in order to do that. Williams has got that little bit of a lead at the moment, as I just wonder whether Connell and Andrew Ashton should work together to try and hunt down on Mike Williams if they can. Connell, again, should have the pace. He knows that he had the qualifying pace to do it. It was tight in qualifying. He was only 0.06 of a second clear of Mike Williams as the cars raced past our locked off camera on the gantry, the start-finish line. Damn, oh, Tim Davies goes off. Is he going to nudge the barrier? Might have been a slight nudge there, but he'll try and rejoin. He was very much involved in trying to close down on Dan Willars. The pair of them qualifying 11th and 12th. Let's hope that Timothy can get it all back on track as we ride once again with Shamek Glodek, remember, who's on all these circuits for the first time, first-year driver. and has had a very consistent year. He's been an ever-present right the way throughout the season. Dan Bolster up ahead of Richard Garrard. Richard 8th at Alton Park in our last programme. Best result of the year, 5th at Cadwell Park back in July. But things are closing up front again. Mike Williams under pressure from Andrew Ashton, with Lee Connell in the mix as well. Remember how quick Connell was around Coram not the last time, maybe the time before. Still chasing hard. Dan Bolster and Richard Garrard having a really good battle here. And at the moment, it's the treble 9 car, our emergency services man. Doesn't drop any scores, because he wasn't at Donington Park for round number 1, so no points pressures from him. But the nerves will be jangling amongst this trio, and it's Mike Williams who's out front at the moment. Andrew Ashton, who's tied with him on outright points here. And along the straight they go once again. Cross the start-finish line, Williams, Ashton and Connell all together. Top 2 cars immediately in front of us. Great shot of the brake lights going on as they go into Riches. So real game of cat and mouse between these three. Ashton runs wide here. Coming up into what on the 300 circuit is a hairpin, but here it's the start of a chicane. They go around that part of the hairpin and then flick a left back onto the main straight. Connell closing up, almost bump drafting there. That might well work going down the straight. Kyler Birdseye still in the mix in the 95 car. Kyler running down behind Dan Willars at the moment. Ernie Burls is still running as well in 14th place. 14 drivers taking to the start here as Kyler comes towards us at Riches. And Kyler did all the rounds apart from Rockingham. Meanwhile, it's the trio for the lead, still battling hard. So Connell is the 3rd car in the mix of this trio. Andrew Ashton still there in 2nd place. Connell's the man who's a few points behind them in terms of the overall scores, but only 4 points behind on drop scores, so he does need to get in front. I don't think there's going to be any Team Purple team racing here, or team orders, because he wants to get as many points as he can over the 2 remaining races left of the campaign. But it's Mike Williams still out front at the minute, and we'll see what Andrew Ashton can do about him. Good driving style from Lee Connell. Richard Garrard about to try and pass Dan Bolster. Mark Eels is in behind as well. Shamek Glodek keeping a watching brief as well, up into top gear onto centre straight. Meanwhile, at the other end of the straight and heading down in towards Wilson, the lead trio. And Andrew Ashton here looking round the outside line. Is he going to maybe think about going for a cutback here? He's got to be careful because he's under pressure for 2nd place as well. So Lee Connell still there in 3rd place, but it's Mike Williams holding on to it here, and it's Williams that receives the attention of the front end of Andrew Ashton, who looks on the inside line, then goes to, or nearest to us, and then goes to the inside, the farthest part of the track, to see if he can get past there, and he's starting to try and get a run. He's out of the tow. They're coming along the Bentley straight, but Mike Williams looks like he's equal to it at the moment. They're going to be hard on the brakes into Brundle, the left-hander. Nelson's the right-hander, which you'll see them feed into next. And this is very close quarter racing. We've got the blue flag being shown because Ernie Burls is there. And Ernie about to be challenged by these 3 cars. He does what he did at Alton Park. He sticks on the outside line. That's really great racing for him. Nothing else he could have done. Maybe possibly put it over. The key thing is Ernie won't have known what part of the track he was going to be on. But the outside line, absolutely fine. Held his line, left room. They've all gone through, and it hasn't altered the dynamic of the race at all, which is still led by Mike Williams from Andrew Ashton in 2nd. Lee Connell is 3rd. Kyler Birdseye a little bit further back, and still running in the 95 car. And Kyler running in 13th place now, but a challenge on for the lead. Andrew Ashton looks to the outside line, and that was real speculative stuff from Ashton, but this is showing Williams that he means business now. They're side by side as they come up into the first part of the chicane that leads them onto the back straight into Wilson. Connell's watching as well. Connell's got up into 2nd place ahead of Andrew Ashton and trying to force his way through and past Mike Williams, who runs a little bit wide. Connell's going to maybe have a bit more momentum here, but Andrew Ashton running well as well. But it's still Williams out front, but Connell tees up the inside line as they come down the straight and head into Brundle once again. It looks like Ashton and Connell seem to have a little bit more speed here as they come down the straight. How is this going to pan out? Connell on the inside, Williams outside, Andrew Ashton following. Williams realises that he's going to have to cede the lead for the moment. So it's Lee Connell now the leader, our second race leader of the penultimate race of the season, round 9 of the championship. So Lee Connell doing exactly everything that he needs to do. Needs to bang in a fastest lap as well. Kyla Birdseye still on her own on track. Fastest lap of the race is actually with Dick Trevette at the moment. And Dick running in, I think, 5th position. We'll look back. No, a little bit further back than that, 6th place, I think, because Tony Connell appears to be ahead of him. So Andrew Ashton in 3rd place now, challenging Mike Williams. It's if you ever get the chance to watch from the pit wall here, you are so close to a very fast piece of racetrack as Mike Williams goes back into the lead. Superb stuff by Williams, round the outside of Lee Connell, down the straight and into Riches, and now Andrew Ashton's getting into the mix as well. Ashton challenging for 2nd, but Mike Williams, having lost the lead and very nearly losing 2nd place as well, goes back. He consolidated that 2nd position, which was a smart move by him, and he's got back into the lead. He's got confidence and he's got speed and he's got the lead. Lee Connell still chases him. Andrew Ashton a little bit further back at the moment. There's Shamek Klodek still racing hard, trying to pick up whatever points he can get. Mark Eel's up ahead of him, and a great view of all of the lead cars. Dick Trevette back in 6th place, but it's Williams still leading at the moment. Lee Connell in 2nd, still piling the pressure on Williams. Andrew Ashton waiting to bounce back in 3rd place. And at the moment, well, we tend to say keeping a watching brief. The truth is that he's trying to get involved in the racing. But he's got a length or so down on this battle for 1st and 2nd. Dan Bolster still busy chasing Richard Garrod, so those two having a super race, and so too is this trio out front, and particularly at the moment the duo of Mike Williams, the Nottingham-based driver, who's had a good year. 1 win, 2 seconds, 3 third places, 3 pole positions and 1 fastest lap. And he's coming on. Oh, that's coming under pressure there. Making a move was Tony Connell, looking around the outside line for 4th place. So Connell goes up ahead of Jack Ashton. Dick Trevette's in the mix as well there. Superb stuff. So Tony Connell goes around the outside line. The race leader's coming up towards us at Wilson. It's still, at the moment, Mike Williams in lead position. So we've got 2 trios battling it out here. This is the group battling for 4th, 5th and 6th. Tony Connell from Jack Ashton. Jack, remember, championship leader on drop scores. Drops 11 points at the moment. This is not going to worsen his situation. But the fact that here's Ernie Burl still running in 14th place. We've seen a fair bit of Kyla Birdseye running in 13th, and Ernie's 14th and still on track to rack up another finish as we go back again to the trio all disputing 4th place. Actually settled at the moment. Tony Connell, you can see they're not that far behind the lead trio. Mike Williams and company. So super racing across the course of the top 6. At the minute, Williams is looking to consolidate the overall points lead, and given that Jack Ashton is a little bit further back, Williams, you can see wipers coming on now, so conditions getting a little bit trickier. Williams is in a position here to take the championship lead either on drop scores or total scores. We'll have to summarise that a little bit more for you at the end, but fine racing nonetheless as Williams goes across the line again. Andrew Ashton 2nd, Lee Connell 3rd, then it's Tony Connell in 4th place. Tony up ahead of Jack Ashton and Dick Trevette, who still has the fastest lap. Now with the wipers coming on, does that mean that Dick's going to hang on to that? It's a possibility. You can see you've got a little bit of rain on the cameras. As Mike Williams, has he gone off? He has! Mike Williams, we were talking about rain. He seemed to outbrake himself. He's got back on track now. Is there oil down as well, perhaps, there? We've had no retirement, so maybe it is just the weather that's catching them out. But Dick Trevette comes through now, so Trevette up ahead of Jack Ashton, who's getting momentum. He's going to fight back and maybe take and pass Dick on the inside line as they inside into the next corner as they go down the straight. Mike Williams immediately ahead of them, but this means that we've got Andrew Ashton out front now from Lee Connell. So there was me talking about the championship lead going to Mike Williams, and it's Andrew Ashton now who's going to take the lead on outright points, comes into Coram. Now the key thing is that they've all experienced whatever is iffy out there on track for the first time. So they should now, in theory, know where it's difficult on track. So I'm not going to say there won't be any more problems, but in theory, there's less chance of a problem for these drivers now that they know, unless you're under pressure and forget about where the issues happen. So it's Andrew Ashton, Lee Connell second, Mike Williams still there in third. Mark Eales chasing Dan Bolster. And they go into Coram. Some really good close battles, aren't they? Right the way down the field. Richard Garrard is the driver that they're trying to hunt down. Richard Garrard at the moment running in 7th place. Lee Connell is chasing the win. Now drop scores could do him a big favour for sure. So here come the race leaders again, and a big sideways moment there for Andrew Ashton, and Lee Connell's going to try and come through, but Ashton held on to that very well indeed. That was a heart-stopping moment for him. So Andrew Ashton looking for his 3rd win of the year, 2 wins, 1 second place and 2 third positions for Ashton so far this year. As we say, the racing everywhere going on. Mark Eales was looking up the inside line there. Lee Connell, wipers on, tricky conditions out there for these lads and girl, of course, for Kyler Birdseye. The leaders are closing up on Kyler, I think that is at the moment. Spectators putting the brollies up as well. Here they come. Lee Connell goes off on the grass. He's trying everything. Went a little bit too far there, but has he got some dirt on his tyres as a result of that? Seems to be struggling. This could very well allow Mike Williams to close off a little bit. Williams has a moment on the grass as well. This is a very tricky race. This is the change of conditions. All the cars are going to be set up for the dry, and it's really catching them out. Kyler Birdseye running in 13th place. We'll see the race leaders approaching. And a big sideways moment at Murray's for Lee Connell, and that momentum, loss of momentum, loses him 2nd place, and Mike Williams is up into 2nd, and Connell's furious about that. Shakes his head in disbelief, but will carry on. They're on to the last lap, so this race has changed complexion several times. It's Andrew Ashton, the race leader. Kyler Birdseye running in 14th in the red car, in between the race leader and the 2nd place man, Mike Williams. So Andrew Ashton is going to take the championship lead on the penultimate race of the year. Shamek gets it a little bit sideways, collects it all up though. This all good learning experience for him. At least he's had some dry laps here. Lee Connell has now passed Kyler Birdseye. That's out of the Wilson corner and onto the back straight for the last time, and Connell looks like he's going to have to settle for a podium here. 3rd place when he was challenging for the lead. One hand on the wheel, other hand working the gear stick. Again, Ernie Burles, great respectful driving in the 65 car, allows the lead trio through safely, headed by Andrew Ashton. Dick Trevette still has the fastest lap of the race, and Dick running in 5th position at the moment. So it's Ashton, Williams, there is Lee Connell in 3rd place. And Lee will pick up 16 points for his troubles, but he's dropping points on Andrew Ashton and Mike Williams in the overall championship as we head into the final race of the year. But this penultimate race is going to be taken, barring any problems here. Oh, there is a little bit of a problem for Andrew Ashton, runs wide, but he keeps the car pointing in the right direction. It's going to be Andrew Ashton who takes the win. Lee Connell can do nothing but look ahead to 1st and 2nd. Andrew Ashton, who will take the race win. There is the checker. Our congratulations to him. Mike Williams 2nd. Lee Connell in 3rd. 4th place will go to Jack Ashton. There's Dick Trevette. Tony Connell will come home next. We've got, of course, in the mix there, Ernie Burles. And there is Tony Connell. Kyler Birdseye went through in the 95 car, classified in 13th place. There is Tony Connell, who comes home in 6th. So here's how they finished. Andrew Ashton from Mike Williams and Lee Connell. Jack Ashton next, then Dick Trevette and Tony Connell from Dan Bolster and Mark Eales. Richard Garrard 9th. Shamek Flodek completed the top 10. 11th went to Dan Willars from Tim Davies. Kyler Birdseye in 13th. Ernie Burles in 14th. And confirmation of fastest lap to Dick Trevette.
Andrew, you earned that one, didn't you?
I reckon so. I think it's safe to say we earned that one. Yeah, it was, as I say, it just wasn't looking. first was not looking likely. As much as I could keep with Mike down the straight, it was just finding the opening. He was shutting the door at all the opportunities. I was getting the overlap, but I just couldn't eke out getting past him, and he was just quick enough in the right places. For me, the weather helped me today. It poured down, and I saw it come in that corner, and I knew the corner would be greasy down at the hairpin on the second corner. And I applied the brake early, and I saw when Mike hit the brake pedal, and I thought that's got to be too late, and it went straight on, and that was that was it. That was a deal breaker. So if it wasn't for that bit of wet, there's no way I'd have had him. There's no way.
Tricky though, maintaining that lead then.
When it was wet, it was so tricky because being in front, I was the one not really taking as many risks, so they were catching me. Undoubtedly, they were catching me, but I was settling for the gap shortening for me to keep it on the black stuff. I could see them in my mirrors sideways for every corner, but catching me. I just had to think, I was watching the lap boards tick down and thinking, just hoping the checkered flag was going to come down at any minute, and that was it really. So
fantastic race there.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Led that there for quite a while. They certainly kept on your case, didn't they?
Yeah, it was done and dusted really, and I thought, I said to you earlier, I've had to swap the tyres around because of that cut, and I'm back to front, so any rain. I just dread any rain. I usually love the rain, but I was dreading it, and so I had to get some spots, didn't I? And the first corner I come to, I just went straight on. I don't believe it. It's part and parcel of racing though, isn't it?
Still got a podium, still got another race to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's still all there to be had, isn't it? Andrew and I are still fighting for it. I think Jack is still in with a chance. I think that just puts Lee out if one of us wins tomorrow though. Judging by the points, I think that now he's not got enough. Even if he wins fastest lap tomorrow, there's no chance he can win if any of us three win, which hopefully one of us will get through. But yeah, it's rain tomorrow, so I'll have the tyres the right way around, and we'll bring it on. I'm looking forward to it.
Lee, fantastic racing as ever. It was nip and tuck for the majority of that race until the latter part.
Yeah, start was good, but dropped back to third at the start. Then I was battling with Andrew for a bit, but you could see Mike just started to creep away. So obviously me and Andrew are teammates, so we worked together to catch back up with Mike. Then I got into the leads. Then I went back to thirds. Mike made a mistake and went off, and then so I had a comfortable second, and I was overdriving it a little bit.
Now, what wasn't obvious to us spectators or viewers, but was to you drivers, was the weather change part way through. Bit of a game changer for Mike, his tyre choice there, but it was quite greasy after a while.
Oh yeah, definitely, and it's the unknown going to a corner and not knowing where the braking points are, and not knowing how slippery it was, because the first corner was completely greasy, but then the bomb hole we were still doing flat out for the majority of it until the rain come down a little bit heavier. But no, it was brilliant. It was a good race.
The finale on day 2 of the meeting was, as Mike Williams predicted, in very wet conditions indeed. The championship was poised. Andrew Ashton 3 points ahead of Mike Williams coming into the last race of the year, both on drop scores and on total scores. But it was ultimately to be a retirement from Andrew Ashton in the final race of the year. That was on lap 9 of the 11. The championship taken away from him. Mike Williams taking the win and the championship. Lee Connell in second place. Here's the result. Williams from Connell, Dick Trevette third in the race from Tony Connell, then Jack Ashton and Dan Bolster. Mark Eales in 7th from Timothy Davis and Shamek Glodek. Then Dan Willars in 10th. 11th going to Richard Garrard from Kyla Birdseye, Bernie Burles and Andrew Ashton, the non-finisher. Congratulations to this year's champion, Mike Williams from Andrew Ashton and Lee Connell. Jack Ashton in 4th from Tony Connell, Dick Trevette, Richard Garrard, Shamek Glodek and Mark Eales. Daniel Balster in 10th from Phil Goodwin, Dan Willars, Tony Howe, James Webb, Tim Davies, Terry Wood, Kyla Birdseye, Dustin Marsden, Tom Burles and Ernie Burles in 20th. Congratulations once again to our 2017 champion Mike Williams. We hope that you have a great winter and we'll see you again next year.